What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the brand new A7S III. Let me go ahead and grab it and I'll show it to you. Just kidding. We ain't gonna show you the A7S III because I don't have it yet. I wish I did, but I don't. Instead, we're gonna be talking about shooting on these bad boys. iPhones, cell phones, whatever you got, use this camera. Oh yeah, and it's probably got better autofocus than this. And with that being noted, I'm just gonna go ahead and apologize for the clip I'm gonna show you in a second. It's not in focus. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead, roll that intro. It's disappointing, you know what I'm saying? Leave your camera at home, use your iPhone, spend more time not taking photos and get in the moment. And I guess I kind of did that just now, but then I also was a little in my head because I didn't bring my camera lens that I wanted to bring. So really it's a toss-up, you know. I didn't expect to see what I just saw, but I'm going to use the iPhone video I got of it to show you. And it was right out there. Let me just turn you down here so you can see out there a little bit better. And now it's gone. Check out the video. I'll show it to you. Just driving down the road, looking at these beautiful mountain views here. Check this out. And there's something out in that field right there. What could those big old antlers be other than a monster bull out there? I left the big lens at home, 500mm lens. I picked it up, said, nah, I ain't gonna need it. No, I ain't gonna need it. I ain't gonna have a beautiful sunrise, fog covering the mountains, and a 350-inch bull elk chilling out in the middle of the friggin' field. Not today. What do you know? There he is. Okay, yep, you know, it's not in focus at all. I apologize again. So you might be thinking, well, that's still a pretty good camera, Michael. Why are you gonna go and use the iPhone? Well, I've never really given it a shot. I've never tried it out. I've only just, you know, you snap your pictures here and there, but they're not ones that I go and gloat and blow up and put on Instagram and everything, because really, I've never put any work into them. But I wanted to give it a shot, see what I could get out of it. And also, you know, I do this every day. I take photos, videos every day. And sometimes when I get the opportunity to get out of the house, spend some time with the family, the last thing that I want to do, and the last thing that my fiance wants me to do, is be down the barrel of a lens, looking, taking photos, and not spending time with her. So this is a lot less intrusive, and it's lightweight. I don't gotta carry a bunch of stuff. So I can just go out, enjoy my time, and still get, hopefully, some good photos, and I guess we're gonna find out here today. All right, we are here. Said yesterday that I was going to work, working a half day, and I'd be coming back and we'd be headed somewhere, but I wasn't gonna tell you where. What's up, guys? So we've got something going on today. I am heading into work right now, and then at lunch I'm leaving. I'm headed home, and we are gonna take off and get out of Charleston for a little while. and take a trip. And we'll tell you where here in just a little bit. And this is it. We're in the Smoky Mountains right now. Out here, getting ready to do a little hiking, probably a little bit of fishing, because this water just looks absolutely amazing, and you got to do it. But what we're actually here to focus on is not using what is in my hand right now, and instead using your phone, so you don't have to carry as much around, and you can be a little more creative. And these camera phones are fantastic. So, you know, leave the bulky stuff in the truck, spend some time, focus on your hike, focus on who you're with, snap some good photos while you're at it, and not have all this big stuff clanking around. But yeah, we're gonna go do a hike where the dog's out, and then try and do some fishing. You know, we still laugh because while it was a good thought at heart to leave the Sony bigger camera in the truck, only use the iPhone, focus on spending time with the family, we were still filming a vlog, kind of. We didn't film too much with it because yes, we did leave it in the truck. So we mostly focused on this, but we laugh because I was still sometimes running around with this and some other cameras to take photos, and you know how it is. We're all photographers, we got our gear, it's really hard to leave it all. But I did practice a few times, I left it in the truck, and as a matter of fact, this first trip, left it in the truck, only used this, shot some photos, shot some videos. So I am going to quit talking to you because I know you're tired of hearing me, and I'm tired of talking, and let's just watch some iPhone video, and let's go ahead. Not bad, right? I think it's pretty darn good for an iPhone. You know, I really like some of those tighter shots. I think they've got more detail than some of those wider shots, but all in all, pretty solid for an iPhone. And I think it looks a lot better when you're actually watching it on the iPhone than when you were watching it on the computer screen. But let's be honest, I think most of us are probably consuming our media right here rather than on this. For video, there's no way this is gonna replace using my real camera. But in a pinch, I definitely think it's good. And really, that was in 1080, 120 with no gimbal. It looked great. No stabilization, that's just me holding the camera, you know, walking through, trying to be as stable as possible. But if you're just making social media content, shooting small vlogs and whatnot, there's no reason why you can't use this. You do not need to start off and invest in giant cameras, expensive stuff, when this is in your pocket and this makes excellent videos. And really, if I'm being honest, the footage from the iPhone looks very close to a camera that I used professionally forever, which was the Canon T3i, and I think most of us that have been around doing this for a long time probably know what that camera is, and it was kind of the start of DSLR video. Actually, I've still got the camera, and I'm gonna go find it real quick. Give me just 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, so I had to go dig this out of the attic, this old camera bag here. This right here is the old Canon T3i. It's on this side. It's probably not gonna focus. Again, we talked about the focus. This camera, it's not great. It's got a cracked screen on it right there. Again, not wanting to focus. But yeah, so that cracked screen, got that falling out of a kayak on a photo shoot one time. And then this lens ultimately is the lens that I shot the majority of my stuff on. And at the time, this was a big purchase for me. You know, 18 to 200, again, not gonna focus. I shot on this camera professionally forever. And this thing has done a lot. It's made me quite a bit of money. and it was able to get me toward, you know, new purchases, buying nicer cameras, better gear. This camera right here shot a film on my first real fly fishing trip, and that film is kind of what kicked off where I am today. And I'll just go ahead and show you part of that right now. Okay, so you saw part of it. If you want to see the full video, I will link it in the description below. It's called Hunting Southern Brookies. But this film is ultimately what started my professional career. It was about 4 months after winning a film festival with that I actually started my TV career. And that was thanks to the people I got to meet at the film festival who worked for National Geographic and Discovery Channel. But if you want to hear that full story, let me know and maybe we can do a video about it later. But until then, we are going to continue talking about the iPhone. Okay, so you saw the iPhone video, you saw the old film shot on this little camera, and I think the two are very comparable. In fact, I think the iPhone would actually be better if in the perfect conditions with the right light and everything set up perfectly. I definitely think the iPhone would 100% blow this camera out of the water and surprise us all. But we're gonna stop talking about video for a few minutes and we'll jump in and we'll look at some photos, because the capabilities of this thing, especially on the photo side, with the right edits, it looks absolutely amazing and it blew me away. Okay, so we'll start looking at these iPhone photos. This first photo of this tree, you look at it, I mean, that's really not a bad photo to start out with, but once we actually attach the color grade, we'll go ahead and roll that in here, I think it looks way better. It gives it a little bit more contrast. It makes it pop. Everything's a little bit sharper. The colors are nice and dialed in, and it's got just a cool look to it. And to me, that is an excellent photo for an iPhone. Okay, so we look at this next photo, and the composition to me is absolutely perfect here. We've got her framed up perfect with the tree on one side and the pine needles on the other, really just putting her in the center and putting all the attention on her. And once we go ahead and slap the color on it, you notice that it really makes everything pop here. And in my opinion, this looks way better. And this to me doesn't even look like an iPhone photo anymore. Okay, so this next one is one of my favorites that I took. You know, the composition on this one looks really nice. The lines leading to the view, the sky is perfectly exposed, the foreground's nicely exposed. Everything just looks really good. It has had a lot of edits done to it, but that's part of photo manipulation and making good photos sometimes, is you get to edit the photos, play around with them, and really bring it to life in the way that you want to see it. So this last one's a shot of Kelsey fly fishing, and she's sitting down tying a new fly on. In my opinion, the composition sells it and shows us that this is actually a really quiet, nice place. There's nothing around, which in fact it is. And that was what I was trying to show through this photo. And the iPhone, again, I mean, she's further away, she's not up close, and there's still so much detail and it's so sharp. I'm just, again, blown away with the quality that comes out of these photos. Okay, so those were just photos from the iPhone. I showed the color grade on them, showed what they look like before and after, and I'm really blown away with how good the iPhone did and how much just a little bit of editing in Lightroom can do to really make these photos pop and look like professional photos. But we're gonna go ahead and dive in, take a look at some Sony images side by side with some iPhone images and really compare those two and see what they look like side by side. Okay, so looking at these photos, the one on the left is gonna be from the Sony, the one on the right is gonna be from the iPhone. The Sony image is definitely wider. It has a little less compression though, and the iPhone image has some more compression because it is shot in portrait mode. I could have used the ultra wide, but I think it gives too much distortion on the ultra wide, and so therefore I just went ahead and shot with the portrait mode, put these two side by side. Honestly, they both look really, really good. I think there's definitely more detail and dynamic range in the Sony image. All in all, these two photos side by side, I mean, you can tell a difference, but really this iPhone image is just as good. It just has a little bit of a different look because it's not quite as wide. Again, like I said, if you're just putting these on social media, I really think these two are very comparable. The next image, you've seen this one on the right, that's the iPhone image. The one on the left is the Sony image. And in my opinion, I think the Sony image, again, is sharper and cleaner looking, but I think the iPhone image captured more color, and I definitely think it looks better. I did the same edits on both of these photos, trying to really bring to life that foreground while keeping the sky nice and exposed perfectly. And in my opinion, I think the iPhone photo wins this all day. I think the colors look a lot better. It just doesn't have as much sharpness and clarity in the foreground as the Sony image. But again, this is just gonna get posted on Instagram. It's not gonna be printed. And for Instagram and Facebook, the iPhone photo will do exactly what I need it to, and I think people are gonna love it. Okay, so this next one I'm gonna show you two photos separately, and then we'll put them together. So we'll go ahead, check out the first one, and then we'll check out this next one. And now we've got them side by side here. I, in my opinion, cannot distinguish which is which. I actually had to look to see which one was iPhone and which one was the Sony. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and in the comments tell me which one you think is the iPhone, picture A or picture B, and then we'll come back and we will look and I will tell you which one is the iPhone image and which one is the Sony image. So if you're like me and you struggled, I don't blame you. The only thing here I think that really gives it away is the detail in the mountains. And if you look at image B, there's a lot more detail in the mountains in the distance. And that is the Sony image. So I think the iPhone image really won this one, and I like it a lot. This will definitely be the photo that I use. Again, I think the composition's better here, but both of them are very good. The Sony quality might be a little bit better than the iPhone. For the most part, we're taking photos to post them on Instagram, to post them on Facebook, and in that circumstance, I definitely think the iPhone is all you need. You can leave the big gear in the truck, you can leave it at home, you can go out, enjoy your time, and just take photos on this, because this takes awesome photos. And if you know what you're doing in Lightroom, you can make them look even better, and I have to give it to the iPhone. I was not expecting this. The last thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna take a look at two different videos, and one of those videos was shot on the iPhone, the other was shot on the Sony. They're not the exact same. They are both in the same location of Kelsey fly fishing. There's a little more content for the iPhone video than there was the Sony, but we'll go ahead, we'll take a look at those, and then we will wrap this thing up. So looking at both of these videos, The iPhone definitely surprised me. It was really, really good. But I have to say, I think that the Sony video is much better. It's much more cinematic, but I would expect that from nearly a $6,000 camera setup versus, you know, maybe a $1,000 iPhone. So looking at these two, I definitely don't plan to switch 100% to the iPhone, but if I need it in a pinch, I've always got it in my pocket. If I want to go take good photos and leave the camera in the truck, I'm gonna have my iPhone, and I know that it can get the job done making great photos. I just don't think it's quite all there for the video yet. I think there's definitely some work to do. You know, for what it is a fantastic option to have if you don't want to spend the money on a more expensive camera. But that's all I've got for us today, guys. We have tried out this iPhone, we've put it through the test, and we've seen what it can do. If you've got an iPhone or any other smartphone, I really suggest you go out, you try to see what you can create with it, because I was very surprised by how well it did. But that's all I've got for today, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.